My name is Daniel McKinley, and today we are going to look at the 1 to 5 player game Horrified, the game where you get to battle against the classic Universal movie monsters. So in Horrified, players will be playing cooperatively to defeat the monsters. They will be some of the characters in the game, and they will be moving throughout the village to defeat one of 6 or up to 2, 3, or even more of the 6 movie monsters. We're going to go into detail about the monsters later on, but for now I want to show you how the characters work and how the game works first. So, at the start of the game, every player will get one of these characters. You can either choose or pick at random. I suggest it random, especially for your first game. Each character has a number on the top, which is how many actions they take on the turn. Some heroes have special actions that they can take throughout their turn as well, as shown on the bottom here. And every character card shows where they start. I went ahead and set up the Professor and the Mayor to show you guys how this works. The Professor has 4 actions on his turn, the Mayor gets 5, but she does not have a special ability. You also choose out the monsters that you will be fighting against during the game. For example, if you want to play an easy level, you pick out 2 monsters, 3 for medium and 4 for hard. You'll take out all their appropriate tokens and set up following the instructions that are on their card. Finally, after placing all of the monsters and the characters in the correct spot, you will take out and draw 12 of the item tokens and place them at their corresponding spot as well. Then you're set up and ready to play. So on a player's turn, you're going to take 2 phases. You take the hero phase and then the monster phase. First, the hero's phase is when you use a lot of actions to potentially get yourself in a better position to defeat all the monsters. The hero phase consists of a number of actions which can be played at any order, and you can do any of them as much as you'd like. The first one is move. A basic move is very simple. You follow the yellow paths, the sidewalks, to an adjacent spot. That would be one of your actions. The next one is guide, where if there's a villager on there, you can have them move either one spot toward you or away from you as an action. You can also pick up any number of items, and I say that very clearly, any number of items. For example, if I was here at the precinct, I can only pick up this 1 item. However, if I'm at the Institute, I can pick up all 3 of these items on my turn. Items are not only important to complete the objectives for the monsters, but they will also be essentially your life points and prevent you from getting attacked. Next, you can share. You can cause a share action for any players that are on your turn or on your same space. For example, if you and I are on the same space, but it is another player's turn, they can make a share action and you and me can trade items. You can also advance a task depending on one of the 6 individual tasks that you need to complete it. And finally, you can use the special action if you have one on your player board. Such as the Professor here, you can move any hero or villager 1 space anywhere on the board. It's pretty powerful. As I said, you will have a certain number of actions that you will complete trying to complete the objectives. Then it will be the monster phase. The monster phase is very simple. You flip over a monster card. You look at the very top number. The number here is how many more tokens from the bag that you will add to the board. You draw them from the bag, like this 2, and you place them at their appropriate spot, like the institution and the laboratory. Then, if your character depicted here by the symbol is part of the game, you'll read this action and you will follow through the directions. We do have Dracula in this game, so this says hypnotic gaze. Move the hero or villager closest to Dracula 3 spaces towards him. Well, right here, the Professor is the closest, so he would move 3 spaces towards Dracula. Then finally, you have a number of symbols down on the bottom. We have the Mummy, Invisible Man, and the creature from the Black Lagoon in this example. Any symbols that are on here, you will carry out their action phase. You will look at the symbol, skipping over any that are not in the game, so we'll go straight to the creature from the Black Lagoon, and activate them. The first symbol is an arrow showing how many spaces they move towards the closest hero. In this example, they move 1 space, and he would move towards the Mayor. Then finally, they will attack. Then you roll both dice. It can have 1, 2, or 3 dice shown on the card here. This shows 2. You would roll it and resolve the attack. If any of these starburst patterns show up, then that means they attack him for 1 damage. If there's a villager there, they might kill the villager instead. But if they are attacking you, you can either suffer the damage and go to the hospital and update the terror track, or you can discard one of your previously gained items. I think in this example, I would like to discard an item. So, after you've done this, it now becomes the next player's turn, and they continue. Now you also have these perk cards that can be used during your turn. They specify when they can be used, more often than not during any hero phase. You'll start with each one of those at the beginning of the turn, and there will be ways to get them throughout the game. There are other monster cards like this one, where this says, the delivery, place Wilbur and Chick at the shop. So you would take the appropriate character, the villager, and place them at the appropriate spot. So this goes to the shop. Somewhere on the board. There it is. Alright. Then, getting a villager to their appropriate location is how you're going to get more perks. For example, if I used a previous action on my turn to bring him closer to me, I get him 1 step closer to the spot that he needs to go. Now Wilbur and Chick needs to go to the dungeon, and each character is different. And they can follow me as I move as well. So if at any time they get to the dungeon, the active player draws a perk card to use later on, and also prevents them from dying throughout the game. If at any time that the monster attacks a villager, they instantly die because they will not have any items, and this marker goes up 1 space. If at any time during the game that this marker reaches the end, then it is game over and the players have lost. Now let's get to the characters and why they're so important. There are 6 characters in the base set, and each character acts in a different way. They all have their normal attack, and they each have a different condition on how to defeat them, but they also have a different bonus right here, the monster bonus, where if you roll the exclamation point, each one has a different effect that they can apply. So let's go over them now. I currently have them set up as Dracula and Creature from the Black Lagoon. Dracula, being the lowest numbered, would get the Frenzy token, which is also a symbol that you might see in one of these monster cards. If the Frenzy token applies, then you activate that monster as well. So a monster might be activated more than once on the monster turn. However, Dracula, the way to defeat him is we will have 4 different caskets or coffins laid out throughout the game. In order to break a casket or coffin, you have to go to that location and discard a total of 6 power of red items, as shown here on the coffin. As we can see here, this pistol would be able to defeat this. However, if I only have the syringe here, the spear gun, I would also need something like this item, the shovel, to combine to get that total of 6 or more power. You can discard any number of items as long as it's 6 or more. Then, when you have discarded those as a previous action, you flip it over to the broken side, place it on the appropriate spot, like so, and once you have broken all 4 coffins, then you have the chance to defeat him. And this says, in Dracula's space, use 6 or more yellow item power to defeat him. Once you've done so, you remove his piece from the board. And he is one of the characters that you have defeated. If you have defeated all of the characters before the game is over, then you win. So let's go over the details of these characters as well. We also have Frankenstein and the Bride, where the goal of Frankenstein and the Bride is to get them both up to a humanity level and get them in the same spot. However, they are drawn towards each other, so if they ever become in the same spot at any time during the game, well then bad things happen as well. They will normally attack people. We have the Mummy, which will have a series of little icons here that you have to switch around and have them in their appropriate spots, numbered 1 through 6. Then, when that is complete, you have to have a total of 9 or more red power worth of items to defeat him. Creature from the Black Lagoon has this little map and this ship token on the card. As you are discarding items, you move it to the next of that color. For example, if I'm on this spot, I could discard a blue item and jump to the blue spot. Then the next blue item would only go to the 2 spaces forward, where if I discarded a yellow instead, it would advance him even further. Once he is at the lair, then you can attack and defeat him with a combination of any blue, yellow, or red, or all of them to defeat him. The Wolfman needs potions, specifically the antidotes, and you have to discard blue items, 2 numbered 1, 2 numbered 2, and 2 numbered 3. Then you need 6 total power of red to defeat him. An invisible man, you need to collect evidence for him to prove that he exists and that he's stealing. Those need specific items from specific locations. For example, I need an item from the mansion, inn, laboratory, institute, and barn. It doesn't matter what the color is or what the item is, but as long as they come from that location. Once this card is filled, I need 9 or more red power to defeat him. So you can see how the game changes very much depending on which monsters you use and in what combinations. In a nutshell, that is how you play Horrified. So thanks for watching how to play Horrified. If it looks interesting to you, come give it a try at Zia Comics in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where you can play this and many other games.